Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTracker.com, and today I'm going to show you how to save a bunch of weight on your Ninja. When you watch this video, some of it's not going to make sense because I've already done this mod myself by literally using a grinder, grinding away all the excess material for what used to be the kickstand bracket. If you have a Ninja 400, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. The kickstand, right? You can pull the spring off, pull the clip off, and pull the kickstand off. You can get the switch out of there. You can do all that shit, right? But you're still left with this gigantic ass bracket that has to be there because it is structural. The guys over at Ninja 400, right? Specifically, Jeremy Toy. Jeremy Toy, fast motorcycle racer, world-renowned motorcycle builder, and he's the dude behind the Ninja400R.com bikes. You'll see those out there in Moto America, piloted right now by the kid Rocco Landers, who is literally whipping everyone's butt on that. This is a simple mod. If you're building a track bike, this is a piece that has been machined to replace that heavy steel piece, right? This is not going to make a lot of sense right now. You're going to have to look at your own Ninja to understand what I'm talking about, because I did take the time using a grinder to grind all that material away, and I got to tell you, I invested probably 45 minutes in that. This is only going to take you about 10 minutes to install. Okay, in order to install this, right, we need to remove a couple of pieces here. You can see I already have a lower fairing off the bike. We're still running our sprocket cover on our bike. We run a non-O-ring chain. I put a lot of lube on it. It just makes a gigantic mess. Try to contain that here in the counter shaft sprocket cover. Two 8 hex heads, 1 5 mil internal hex. Cover comes off. Now we need to remove the rear set from this bracket. 6 mil internal hex. Little thread locker on these. Okay. Careful how I let that hang. I don't want to damage the quick shift sensor. Kind of let that hang. Now we need to remove this, and this 22 mil here. It's a 1/2 inch drive there. $12 mil. The other two fasteners. Grab a different socket real quick. Got a 12 here at the top. Got a 14 down there at the bottom. Our bracket here did get tweaked just a little bit during our adventure with Super Motorcycle Racer a couple of weeks ago at a weir around. Tangled up in something. Okay, slide that bracket off. And now we need to break these two fasteners loose here. So both 12s. This is going to shave a reasonable amount of weight off the bike. You know, the kickstand is heavy. It's all steel. This bracket is pretty big. All steel. The guys over at Ninja 400 have developed all kinds of cool parts for this bike that you know, we're kind of excited to be offering here, right? And we'll have more videos following this one in the future. Thread locker kind of holding that in place there. That's interesting. Need to get something in there to hold that. That's just some of the thread locker that was in there from when I did the mod using the grinder previously. Just kind of had that bolt hung up in that bracket. Boy, that's like watching paint dry on a wall right now, huh? Okay. We'll get everything all cleaned up, and when I come back, we'll be ready to put this all back together. Okay, here is the bracket that I had modified. Okay, if you have your own Ninja, you'll be able to see the difference as compared to the one from Ninja 400. You can see that is just a lot more professional, a lot cleaner. Yeah, this got the job done, but this is just a whole lot better, and honestly, it's going to take you so much less time. It's worth the investment in that bracket. I'm going to go ahead and put a little thread locker on these fasteners again. Maybe a little less than I did the first time. Might be a good idea. I also took a wire brush and I cleaned off some of the excess that I had on there. So definitely overdid it last time. I'm going to run it down, but I'm not going to seat it all the way. Get it close. And then we'll start the other one. Same thing. There's still some thread locker in those holes, so you can expect these to kind of run in a little tighter. For these two fasteners, I will not be using a torque wrench, and I'll go ahead and seat that. Before I torque it, I'll seat the other side as well. And we'll kind of come back, torque these down nice and evenly. Okay. Reinstall the bracket back on the bike. At some point, I'm going to replace that. It's tweaked just a little bit. It's not horrible. So we're good to go for the weekend that we have coming up here. These two fasteners, I will not be using a torque wrench on. That said, I will for the swing arm pivot. Let's get both of these seated and then we'll put some torque to them. Torque spec for the swing arm pivot, 78-ish foot-pounds. We're going to roll with 78, 22 mil. Okay, let's get ready to wrap this up. A little thread locker here on each of the rear set mount bolts. Six mil internal hex. Just kind of repeat again, you know, this bracket doesn't look a whole lot different, right, than what we just installed. The reason for that is, you know, this is something that I did previous to this part being released. Did it myself with a grinder, and I got to tell you, it took a heck of a lot longer than installing this thing did. Okay, both seated, torque these down. I'm not going to use a torque wrench here. Just good even torque. And if you just kind of get in there, Caleb, you can see this is just so much cleaner than what we had going on with that OEM kickstand and bracket. Okay, when you eliminate the kickstand, you're also eliminating the kickstand switch. So what I like to do is I cut the harness off the kickstand switch. This is already done because I did this work previously. We just didn't shoot a video on it. This is soldered, right? The two wires are stripped, twisted, soldered, and then shrink wrapped back together. You want to make sure you have a really good connection here and you're not going to have any issues with it. This is tucked away up here in the electronics bay area, right? There's a little boot right here. I don't know how close you can get. I moved my fuse boxes out of the way. Those I have cable tied to the frame. I cut those. And I removed this little cross brace here so I could get this out and give you guys all a look at what I did here. All right, I realize the access isn't fantastic. In order to service this, you can try and do it without taking anything apart. It is pretty tight. I was able to get it done to unplug it and plug it back in, but just so you're aware up front, this is something you need to do. You want to make sure you have a good permanent connection here and the access is tight. Okay, there you go. We got it all buttoned up. This is really a pretty basic little mod. It gets you a good professional end result and it allows you to eliminate all this. Remember, once again, I'm gonna say it again, you know, a big part of this bracket's missing because I cut it off. Pay close attention to the work that you do wiring around the kickstand switch. You want to make sure that you've done a good job there and it doesn't create any performance related issues for you down the road. I have seen people that, you know, would use something maybe like a wire nut there and it would get corroded a few years down the road. They have issues with the bikes cutting out, doesn't want to start, shit like that. That's not something you want to deal with when you're at the racetrack. You solder it together, you shrink wrap it, you will never have an issue. Just the right way to do it. If you have any questions about this mod or any other Ninja related questions, please leave them in the comments section of this video. I answer all those and I'm here to help you get the same end result from your project we did ours.